Oh man, it's the grab bag.
You know, sometimes the movie going experience is a lot of fun. And sometimes you've got your kids with you and they are not sitting still. Even when you take them to a movie that they wanted to go see. That was how it was last night. We went to go see Kung Fu Panda 3 or 4. Yeah, 4. Kung Fu Panda 4 in theaters because it was a special little treat for the kids instead of just watching a movie at home. And my boys were both a little bit of nightmares. Thankfully, the theater was almost entirely empty. I don't even know how long the movie's been out for, but we went and saw it. And I enjoyed it. I don't know if I would say it was the best. It had a lot of tropes that thankfully weren't as bad as other times because it kind of had a little bit of the girl boss trope. Um, at least it wasn't the girl who was the key to everything. So I'll back up. At the beginning of the film, Poe is told that he needs to find a successor to be the Dragon Warrior, and that he is supposed to go on and become the spiritual leader. He doesn't want to give up his role as the Dragon Warrior because he doesn't really want to do something new because he's finally good at something. And then this fox girl shows up and tries to rob the temple, and he defeats her. And during this time, of course, his master wants him to find somebody to replace him and mentor him. Not mentor, he needs to mentor that person, and he didn't find anybody. And I was like, oh, watch, it's going to be this fox girl. And that's what happens. She was, of course, voiced by Aquafina, which, at least it wasn't as bad as some of the other films that Aquafina was in. I'll give her that. This was a little bit better. The problem I had was it was a little tropey and a little predictable. Thankfully, she was not perfect, but they worked well together. And he was basically trying to teach her how to be a good person, and she was being, trying to show him the abilities of being like deceitful and stuff. Um, the main villain of this movie was the Chameleon, a sorceress or magical woman who was not allowed to basically be taught karate, who's mad at everybody because she wants the karate. So her whole goal is to get the Staff of Wisdom away from the Dragon Warrior so she can use it to summon all these dead warriors and steal their kung fu powers. And overall, that was kind of neat, especially when she was stealing all those powers. Um, but it was a little weird watching a film like this alongside of a film just recently called Animal Crackers, where the bad guy wanted to steal a specific set of powers. And what made the chameleon's magic very similar to the Animal Crackers was the fact that the she could transform into pretty much anything, including transforming into multiple things at the same time. So there's this battle against her at the end where they have, this transformation, and she takes on the form of like a dozen different kung fu masters all combined together and becomes this hulking behemoth. And, you know, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Animal Crackers when the bad guy ate a bunch of fragments of the different animal crackers and became a hulking behemoth. But I will say that it wasn't exactly one for one. I mean, Poe doesn't transform, but in the end, Poe gets like sent inside a steel cage, and he's like, "It's up to you. You're the only one, Fox Girl." Was it Jade? No, it wasn't Jade. I can't even remember her name. I was so focused on my kids during that movie because they weren't sitting still. Um, so she lands like the final blow against the chameleon, and overall it was fun. It was all right. I don't know if they're going to continue the story because they're trying to say that you know Poe needs to stop being the warrior, but we'll have to wait and see, and we'll have to see how well it does in theaters. I haven't even looked at how it's doing performance wise, but it was fun. It was fine. It was a decent kids movie. I'll just say that.